Hello everybody and welcome to the completely stolen footage of the latest King of the Hill tournament. Actually, this will be the first King of the Hill tournament, so not really latest. I apologize. So let's see, this is the final, not the final battle, but these are the finals. This is the first battle in Rubicon. On the blue side we've got the Sun Tzu team, and on the red side we've got PSB. These are all being viewed from the Mistru's viewpoint, and we are going to see a very important thing that I would like to show you and why this battle was lost. See, I keep mentioning this concept, the smallest things make the biggest differences when you're talking about top tier, like top levels. And here, the game was lost due to vision. And it was a completely strategic mistake. In my opinion, both sides played very well. They were very skilled, but bad planning. Bad planning is exactly what happened here. So what happened here is that right flank was kind of lost. It should have had been defended. Had it been defended from the start and had the Sun Tzu team prevented the enemy from coming into the vineyards, this could have been easily been won and would have forced the PSB to try a different strategy, which would have changed things. And the reason for that, as you can see, they are able to fire without being seen, which, as you can imagine, creates tremendous power imbalances. And that's exactly what is happening. Now the Sun Tzu has realized their mistake, and they are hurrying up to meet there. As such, on these levels, knowing the map becomes very important. Honestly, nobody really thought about this. Like, we were just doing what we were supposed to do, and this was not exactly something on our minds as we were executing it. So as we can see, the PSB team is pushing from the right side as well as from the middle a little bit, forcing the Sun Tzu team to retreat towards their base, but they cannot go too far away from their base, otherwise they are going to get capped. And that's what the PSB team is very skillfully taking advantage of. They're getting some very nice shots on javelins. Their javelins are doing very nice damage on the pikemen against those spears or swords, I believe. And now here we've got another pike exchange going on, a very nice engagement. Now Sun Tzu team has realized, of course, what is going on, and now they are instead trying to countercap by the new plan being to decap until they themselves can cap. But for this strategy, they were required to eliminate all the cavalry. And that is not gonna happen because the cavalry plays very skillfully as scouting cavalry, especially if you're the only cavalry in that team. What you need to do, you need to keep your units separated, use them for tactical situations. Just like the ones over here, arguably this was a bad engagement, even though you could have done considerable damage. Just too much risk, too little potential reward. I would say not worth it. And here we have a very nice charge, but as you can see, the teams are now capping one another, so it is kind of a close game. The power balance is not dipping towards either side, but that strategic position advantage that the PSB had gotten from the last one gives them all the advantage they needed, and now their cavalry is waiting at their base to stop them. Now, one other thing that happened is because PSB took those vineyards, those units that you just saw, they were forced to move out of their position, which made them vulnerable to cavalry. As soon as they became vulnerable to cavalry, well, Sun Tzu team has lost their skirmishers. As soon as they lost their skirmishers, their javelins became an open target. And so that is what we are really seeing over here. So let's speed things up a bit. Alright, and we are back. Now we have it sped up, and the PSB team is basically cleaning up the rest of the Sun Tzu forces. The power balance, even though it has not swayed that much, the strategic advantage that the PSB team had gotten was simply way too much for Sun Tzu to handle. This was a lack of map knowledge. if anything, and PSP exploited that very nicely. They saw an opening. They predicted that, hey, they probably are not in those vineyards. They are all in the middle. They probably have counted the opponent's units and they realized, yeah, they're in the middle. How about we just push through those vineyards? And that's what they did. The Sun Tzu team just did not realize what was going on fast enough or just downplayed that effect. And this is the beauty of this game. It's not about luck, not even your personal skill, but your strategy. Truly an RTS MOBA, so to speak. Even though we have these spears chasing them, the battle is basically over. So, with that being said, let's go on to the next one. And now, the final battle. So, this time we've got Capua, and we have got the observers taking their positions, and majority of the Sun Tzu team is, the red team is Sun Tzu, and the PSP team is the blue team. They have majorly deployed within the city. So let's see how it goes. They have already captured the first tower, which was on the outside, and they see that Sun Tzu is walking around, kind of approaching that tower in the middle. They realize it's a bit too dangerous. They have found where their skirmishers are, and they're focusing to push with melee over there and avoid that area with their vulnerable units. Now, the reason they do this is that way they will be disoriented, which is a pretty good strategy, and with raised shield abilities you will be able to do quite a bit of damage. And now the archers are coming in close into the slingers. Now these are barbarian archers, which means their damage is just tremendous. So on a head-to-head combat, those slingers are not gonna survive. Knowing that, those slingers are running away, but they have already taken considerable amount of damage in comparison to what they have received. Slingers in this map are just not very good because of the amount of stuff you can get behind of, the covers that you can take, just simply too much. And those barbarian archers, now that the slingers are out of range, are now taking shots at javelins. Javelins managed to dodge quite a few volleys, but in the end they still receive quite a bit of damage. And now they have found the cavalry. Cavalry is kind of being useless over there. Not their fault, I think. Actually, yeah, it kind of is. They should have gone from the back. Not much they could have done, in my opinion. Here we see another engagement. Let's see. So the battle is swinging in the PSB's favor with that move with those barbarian archers. I agree. Those, high damage dealing, high range archers, you can't go wrong with that. We need more of that. Although they do not have the barrage ability. Barrage, when used right, that thing can wipe out entire units in one shot. And so here we see the, let's see, are those javelins? Yep, those are javelins. So here, yeah, I kind of made a mistake, but at this point we kind of, we were kind of giving up after that damage on the skirmishers. Not much that could be done because the javelins were needed to take out the infantry, and with the javelins being taken out of commission, there wasn't much that can be done. Now the slingers here are, yeah, in my opinion, they aren't very useful because you can only shoot through these streets, only through obvious places, but other than that you're not able to do anything. And there's kind of an open area anyway, so you're able to utilize your archers quite a bit more, especially Ambiorix's archers with his ultimate forcing you to fire at 45-degree angle is not as big of a problem in this map because you'll be firing at that angle anyway. So it at least gives you that extra range and damage bonus, I believe. So this understanding of those unit types, so the last game, just to sum it up, I would say it was lost because of not understanding the map. And here, I would say it was picks. The slingers were a wrong pick. But in my opinion, and the light artillery, I feel like the light artillery kind of underperformed here. But the infantry have performed very well, so after you have taken out the most important facets of the Sun Tzu's team composition, and they are also divided. As you can see, the remainder of their units are now in their base, and they are outnumbered, especially on the infantry front. And when the infantry is outnumbering the skirmishers so hard, the infantry is just able to give one-on-one chase to those skirmishers, at the very least preventing them from doing any kind of damage. And so here we see them making a final stand. Let's speed things up a bit. And so it is. The last moments. So to sum it up, it was a great tournament. It was very enjoyable, great for fatigue training, and it has made us realize some of the mistakes that some of the weaknesses that we didn't know we had. And this is why it is so important for everybody to participate in these tournaments, because until you are in that tournament scenario, you do not know what your weaknesses are, and if you keep practicing against the same people, you will just keep cementing your mistakes. Well, I hope you enjoyed these battles, and we will see you next time.